Alabama fans in an uproar. Kalen DeBoer just dropped a bombshell that has Tuscaloosa buzzing. And listen, I need you to pay attention to every word that follows, because what was said inside Alabama's football facility over the past few hours is not a figure of speech. It's not speculation from an anxious fan base. It's something real, documented, and coming straight from the head coach himself. Nobody expected this issue to get this close to Tuscaloosa. Nobody. And yet it happened. There's a possibility surrounding the Alabama roster right now, a possibility involving names from the past, court decisions, and a chaos that is reshaping the rules of American college football right before our eyes. Stay with me until the very end, because the full answer, the name, the context, and what this means for the team's immediate future will only make sense once I connect all the dots, one by one, in a way nobody else is telling the story. Before anything else, if you're one of those people who lives and breathes Crimson Tide football, whose heart starts racing just hearing the name Tuscaloosa, hit that like button right now. Turn on notifications and subscribe to the channel, because this is where you discover what nobody else shows you, with the details that the major outlets aren't willing to dig into. Keep that commitment, because over the next few minutes, things are going to get more and more intense. It all started far away from Alabama, out in Colorado, inside a courtroom, where a district judge made a decision that shook the entire college sports ecosystem in America. He granted eligibility to athletes from the 2022 recruiting class, a group that theoretically should already be finished with their college careers. But it didn't stop there. A higher court stepped in and issued a stay in the case, putting everything on hold, freezing the situation, and leaving the entire country waiting for the next chapter. But here's the detail that many people haven't told you. While that nationwide pause remains in effect, local courts across the United States have quietly begun creating their own exceptions, and that's exactly how one name started making waves behind the scenes in college football. Daquan Wright. Remember that name, because he is the piece that unlocks everything. Wright spent 2 years playing at Ole Miss after previously playing at Virginia Tech. He went undrafted, tried to make it in the NFL, spent time with the Philadelphia Eagles and then the Cleveland Browns, participating in workouts and trying to prove himself at the highest level. And then came the last-minute twist that nobody saw coming. A Louisiana judge granted his request to return to college football, and on the very Sunday the Browns released him, the door opened for him to put on an LSU uniform. A mysterious possibility became reality for Wright, and now, school by school, that same path is being considered, tested, and evaluated. And this is exactly where Alabama enters the story, because as this domino effect spreads across the country, someone had to ask head coach Kalen DeBoer directly what he thinks about this door that is opened for rival programs. And his answer was anything but simple. It was cautious, weighty, and filled with implications that deserve your full attention. DeBoer revealed that Alabama Athletic Director Greg Byrne has been in constant contact with him, providing updates at every step about what the program can and cannot do in the face of this new legal reality that is rewriting the rules of American college football. And then came the statement that set off alarm bells throughout the fan base. According to DeBoer himself, there is a real possibility involving someone who was previously on Alabama's roster. Pay attention, because he made a point of emphasizing that at the exact moment he made that statement, this person would still not be eligible to take the field for Alabama. However, in his words, the world changes every day, and nobody knows what tomorrow will bring. DeBoer said he has no control over the process and cannot worry about things that are outside his hands, but he made it clear that the situation is being closely monitored at the conference level and nationwide, with Byrne continuing to pass along every update as soon as it emerges. And now, get ready, because we've reached the revelation many people have been waiting for. One of the names appearing most often in this conversation, one of the players from the 2022 class who already wore the Crimson Tide uniform and who could theoretically return if the courts open this exception to Alabama, is Kam Dewberry, the team's starting left guard last season. Dewberry followed the same path as so many others. He went undrafted, signed with the Atlanta Falcons, and tried to prove himself in the NFL. But fate took a shocking turn just last Saturday during a preseason game when he had to be removed from the field on a stretcher.
a detail nobody expected, and one that completely changes the tone of this story. While all of this is unfolding, another battle is quietly raging inside Alabama itself, one that could ultimately determine the starting left guard position, the same spot Dewberry used to control. On one side is sophomore Mal Waldrop Jr., who, according to DeBoer himself, took the majority of the first-team reps during the early stages of practice, mainly because the other competitor, veteran Will Sanders, was still adjusting to specific aspects of his game. But now, as practices continue, Sanders has been earning more opportunities, more confidence, and more reps. The coach himself revealed that Sanders has the versatility to play both left guard and right guard, rotating between the two positions throughout practice. So tell me, Alabama fan, are we about to see a familiar face from the past return to Bryant-Denny Stadium amid this legal earthquake shaking college football? Or will the internal battle between Waldrop and Sanders settle everything before the courts even have a chance to intervene? Let me know your opinion in the comments, because this story is far, far from over, and you definitely won't want to miss the next chapter.